Okay, so we can start. A very warm
Okay,
welcome and good
so
afternoon to all. I, Nishant, on behalf of Quaternion Mathematical Society, welcome Professor Anil Kumar Rajak sir and our special guests Rohan Roy sir, Madhu Sharma ma'am, Sampan Somani sir, and all the participants to the first chapter of our Alumni Talk series. And we will be exploring the world of actuarial science today in our webinar. Before moving forward, I would like to introduce you all to ARST College and the Mathematics Department of our college. Atmaram Sanatan Dharm College is a leading institution of the country with All India ranking 7th in NIRF. The college has been accredited grade A by NAC in its first cycle, and in the able leadership of our college principal, Professor Gyantosh Kumar Jha, the college is continuously growing and touching the new heights of achievements. The Department of Mathematics of our college was established in 1962. Since then, the Department of Mathematics has established many records. Presently, there are 20 faculties in the department who have research experience in topics like topology, celestial mechanics, complex analysis. The Department of Mathematics has published more than 60 research papers in the last 5 years, and our alumni have also got selected in IITs, NITs for their higher studies. Also, many students are associated and working in many prestigious institutes like Citibank, JP Morgan, E&Y, and SBI. And our today's guests are also one of the successful alumni. So now I would like to invite Professor Anil Kumar Rajak sir for welcoming our special guest. Thank you, sir.
yeah, a very good evening to our respected principal sir, Professor Gyantos Kumar Jha, IQAC coordinator, Dr. Vinita Tuli ma'am, teacher in charge of mathematics department, Mr. Kapil Kumar, assistant in charge, Mr. Rajkumar Bhagat sir, faculty members, and speakers of today's webinar who are alumni of our college, Rohan Rai, Sampan Somani, and Madhu Sharma. And dear students and participants, I, Anil Kumar Razak, on behalf of Department of Mathematics, ARSD College, welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic Exploring the World of Actuarial Sciences, being organized by the Department of Mathematics in collaboration to Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the college. First of all, I would like to thank our honorable principal sir, Professor Gyantos Kumar Jha sir, for always motivating us, guiding us, supporting us to organize such webinars for the benefit of our students. Now, I want to welcome our speakers of today's session who are alumni, as I said, Rohan Rai, Sampan Somani, Madhu Sharma, who have been placed in a good and reputed institutes and who will share their valuable thought on the topic exploring the world of actuarial sciences. Thank you to all of you, and for also thank you for accepting our invitation to share your valuable thoughts on the topic actuarial science. Thank you. So now, without taking much more time, I want to continue the session. So over to Nishant, carry forward.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, moving forward, I would like to introduce you with our guests for today's talk. Our first guest for today's session is Rohan sir. Sir was student of Mathematics Department of ARST College from 2017 to 2020, and he was also the president of Enactus ARST in the year 2020 and was in the core team of FIC in the same year. After pursuing mathematics honors from ARST College, he went to University of Amsterdam for doing MS in Actuarial Science and Mathematical Finance. Currently, he is working in ING Bank in the credit blockchain development. Our second guest for today's webinar is Madhu ma'am. Ma'am was also the student of Mathematics Department, ARST College from year 2019 to 2022, and she was an active member of National Service Scheme in her college days. She has cleared 6 actuarial exams out of 13 from IFOA and have work experience of 1 year in GI industry. And currently she is working as actuarial reserving intern at Magma HDI General Insurance. Our third guest for today's alumni talk is Sampan Somani sir. Sir was the student of Mathematics Department ARST College from year 2018 to 2021. During those years, he was an active member of Finance and Investment Cell of the college, and right after his graduation, he came in the field of actuarial science, and currently he is working as an actuarial analyst in Exceedance Consulting India. Now, as we all know, today's talk is basically about the actuarial sciences. And I know most of us are not familiar with the subject, but in today's world, it is one of the most important fields where mathematics and statistics has been used. So, actuarial science is a discipline that assesses financial risks in insurance and finance fields using mathematical and statistical methods. Actuarial science applies the mathematics of probability and statistics to define, analyze, and solve the financial implication of uncertain future events. Traditionally, actuarial science largely revolves around the analysis of mortality and production of life tables and application of compound interest. And I hope after today's talk, we'll be more clear about it. So without any delay, I would like to invite Rohan sir to please begin with our today's talk on actuarial science. Sir.
Thank you, Nishant, and thank you, Anil sir, for organizing the event. And also, I feel like pretty weird calling me sir because I'm not used to being called sir. So like from now on, it'll be fine if you just call me Rohan or like Bhaiya is fine. So
Okay,
to
Bhaiya.
begin with, as we already mentioned in the poster, we have mentioned that this is a talk and not a seminar. So we would love to have your questions. Like whenever you have a question, you can raise your hand or just type it in the chat. And in the end, Nishant or someone else will ask us the questions. And I know it's 3:30 in India and everyone had a good lunch, but we would genuinely request, like, if you can like turn on your camera. So like it can be a more interactive session and not a one-way class, if that's fine with you all. And one other thing, we haven't made a presentation for this seminar or a talk. We call it a talk, especially because we did this on purpose because we want to focus on what we are saying and not just focus on data which keeps on popping on slides. So with that aside, I'll start with a bit of a background. As Nishant already mentioned, I did my bachelor's in mathematics, and we are always confused that after mathematics, what career to pursue. And it was the same for me. Like when we start doing mathematics, we are like, we know professions which are academic in nature, like you can clear the net exam and go for professorship and all those things. But one question is still there. Maths पढ़ लिए, सब कुछ कर लिया है. We'll keep this in Hindi and English both, so it's like more relatable for most of the people. So after we have studied maths पढ़ लिए, अब क्या करना है? We know net है, IITs में जा सकते हैं. So like we have masters in mathematics and all those fields which are very strictly related to mathematics, applied mathematics, pure mathematics. So in this talk, we will be focusing on the alternate career path which you can choose after the seminar, or you can research more about it. And as Nishant already mentioned, it's actuarial science. So actuarial science, the definition we already heard, that it assesses financial risk in insurance and financial fields using mathematical and statistical models. What I personally believe कि ये एक ऐसा career path है जो specifically is made for us mathematics students. We are always confused कि maths के बाद हमें करना क्या है. And what if I told you that this career path is actually very much made for people like us in the mathematics field? And so let's start with a very basic example of what actuarial science is. I think before this seminar, before this talk, sorry, I'm again and again saying seminar, but before this talk, you might have researched actuarial science क्या होता है, कुछ तो पता होना चाहिए पहले से. So we all know the definition, right? Now let me tell you what exactly an actuarial science में काम क्या होता है. I'll give you a very basic example. Suppose you have a car insurance, right? Or and we car insurance and two-wheeler insurance, whatever kind of insurance you have, we go to our insurance company and we say कि हमें इसका insurance चाहिए. what is the premium you're going to charge. जो हम monthly उन्हें premium देते हैं या yearly premium देते हैं, that value of the premium is calculated by a person who's an actuary or someone who's pursuing the actuarial field. So I hope you get a basic understanding ki kaam kya kar. This is one of the many things that an actuarial person does. So we have calculated the premium and we work in fields like the most prominent fields in actuarial science are insurance, pensions. I have taken a different path, I'll say, but we'll come on that later on. But now I think you have a basic understanding actuarial science mein kya ho raha hai. Actuarial science is basically, in one word, risk management. Wherever there is risk in banks, in insurance, in pensions, kahin bhi jahan pe risk hai, you can find an actuarial kind of job over there. So after this, so some fields where actuarial science, you might see technical knowledge of actuarial science is required, is risk management, as I already said, investments, life insurance, corporate insurance, general insurance, pensions, healthcare, and iske alawa bhi there are a lot of them. So I'll now switch my mic to Madhu, who will explain a bit about the skills and qualifications required on a more specific level to follow this career path.
First of all, thank you, Nishant, for such a warm welcome, and thanks to Anil sir for inviting me to give my thoughts on actuarial science. Now, talking about the skills that are required to become an actuary, first of all, I feel discipline and the consistency is the main skill, because you need to write exams while you are working. So after 8 hours of work, you need to study. So a lot of discipline and dedication is required for that. Apart from this, you need to have good analytical skills, because you will be analyzing the past data and making out some useful information from that. And you need to have good communication skills, because on a daily basis you need to share your insights, your recommendations to someone who is from non-actuarial background in simple terms. So उसके अलावा problem solving ability, because there are so many problems you need to solve. You need to be creative for that. And I feel programming is also one of the most important skill. You need to know R, Excel, and SQL, or R or Python, either one will work. Because बहुत सारा data होता है, you need to analyze that data. So R and Python is a best you can do. And now talking about how can you be an actuary in India? Like, what's the qualification? What's the eligibility criteria? And what's the procedure? So first of all, 12th तक का maths तो चाहिए होता है. उसके बाद you can either do actuaries by writing the 13 exams and become the fellow of institute, or either you can pursue masters in actual science. Rohan sir would explain that in detail. And now जैसे सीए में होता है ना, आईसीआई एग्जाम्स कंडक्ट करता है एंड रेगुलेट करता है, वैसे ही इंडिया में एक्चुअरीज का भी एक बॉडी है, दैट इज आईआई, व्हिच रेगुलेट्स द एग्जाम एक्चुअरियल एग्जाम्स and maintains all the curriculum. तो III में क्या होता है, basically you have to clear the first exam, that is you have to clear the exam, entrance exam ACET, to get the membership. और फिर उसके बाद you can start writing exams. 13 exams are basically divided into 4 parts. First one is core principles जिसमें 7 exams होते हैं, and then core practices जिसमें 3 exams होते हैं. And after you clear these 10 exams and have minimum 1 year of experience, so you become the associate of institute. And after that, there is a specialist principal series and specialist advanced series. Specialist principal series में out of 7 or 8 exams आपको 2 exams clear करने होते हैं जिस भी field में आप work कर रहे होते हैं. Like it can be general insurance, health, finance, investment. And essay series और specialized advanced series, उसमें एक ही exam clear करना होता है, जो भी मतलब आप जिस भी field में उसके accordingly. And IAI and IFOA is basically body of actuaries from UK. और दोनों में कोई ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. यू कैन मोस्टली स्टूडेंट्स इंडिया में आईआई एंड आईएफए से ही करते हैं. द डिफरेंस इज कि आईआई में थोड़ा पास परसेंटेज कम है एज कंपेयर टू आईएफओए सोसाइटी. एंड दूसरा आईएफओए थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव है एज कंपेयर टू आईआई ऑल्सो. और दोनों का स्टडी मटेरियल सेम है, दोनों के लिए वर्क अपॉर्चुनिटीज सेम है, सब मतलब टोटल सेम है. इसके अलावा देयर आर two other actual societies as well, which Sampan will explain. Now handing over to Sampan.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you, Nishant and Anil sir, for such a warm welcome. So, first of all, I want to start with saying, like, what is actuarial science? I'm reiterating it, but when you heard actuarial science, everyone knows that it's been connected with insurance. Like, अगर हिंदी में है, so whenever I told my relatives कि क्या actuarial science होता है, they always like, यार क्यों बीमा बेच रहे हो यार? It's not बीमा बेचना, right? We are the creators of that बीमा. So first of all, clearing on that. Apart from it, as Madhu said that there are many societies which you can pursue actuarial science. Like we here are three speakers currently. Rohan is doing actually with a different path. Madhu is doing with the societies wala path, and she's giving papers from IFOA, I guess. And on the other hand, I am giving from US society, that is CAS exams. So there are n number of societies in the world. Like every country has their own body of actuarial societies. So you can appear from any society and give the papers from any society. So just to clarify one thing, that actuarial is a worldwide accepted course. You can give papers from any society and it's recognized all over the world. So this is the major, I would say, advantage for the actuarial students, that if they want to pursue actuaries. Coming on to the topic, like as I said, I am giving paper from the US society. So why US society? Why not Indian society? So I also try to give paper from Indian society, but as we go deep inside this actuarial world, we get to know that some societies did some specialization in insurance activities. Let's say the people from which I am giving, uh, that is CAS, Casualty Actuarial Society, and it specializes in general insurance. Every society has been giving you paths, like preliminary papers are the same for each of the everyone society, ifs and buts. But the thing is, with the CAS, what there are total of, I guess, 12 papers. 9 are the preliminary papers, and after that, you are giving some seminars and appearing for some of the assignments. After that, you become a casualty actuarial actuary, right? So it basically specializes in general insurance. Other societies give the option to go into general insurance, life insurance, or even say investment. So yeah, that's on the casualty actual society. I'll give you some brief about what I am currently doing in what field. So after doing actuarial, we do when we are doing the actuarial science, we got an option to go in some fields. Let's say if you want to go in general insurance or in life insurance or in risk management part, you can go in anywhere. I personally choose general insurance because it gives me the kick. Like every day I have to do something new, but it's not the case. I'm not terrifying you, but yeah, there are a lot of works in the general insurance as well as in life insurance, that there are some repetitive work. So coming on to the topic, that for doing a general insurance career, what we actually do is, like, there are basically traditionally two types of courses, two types of path. First is the pricing one, and another one is the reserving part. So in the pricing one, as Rohan explained, that when we buy an insurance policy, the premium which we pay is actually decided by the actuary, and that is called the pricing work. Another one is the reserving work. So what if I will give an example. I bought a car insurance policy, and I go to the insurer and ask for the claim. So claim amounts are usually very high as compared to the premiums. So how insurers justify this claim amount? If everyone is going to give this claims amount as it is, or I would say they do not put aside some money to give this claim in the future, all business will go in bankrupt, right? So the process of keeping money aside to fulfill the claims is known as a reserving technique. So there are primarily two kinds of techniques. One is reserving and another one is pricing. Apart from it, I'll go on to the life insurance part. But Madhu, can you please pitch in and give a perspective on the life insurance part?
Okay. So life insurance basically हम सबको पता है पॉलिसी बाजार का एड देख देख के लाइफ इंश्योरेंस नहीं लिया तो लाइफ इंश्योरेंस में बेसिकली यू जस्ट गो टू द इंश्योर्ड एंड वो लोग आपका प्रीमियम और जैसे संपन्न एंड रोहन ने बोला कि प्राइसिंग करते हैं लाइक दे विल टेक सम इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम यू कि फैमिली में कितने मेंबर्स हैं कितने लोग डिपेंडेंट हैं आप पे डू यू स्मोक मैरिटल स्टेटस एंड ऑल एज और इसके बेस पे प्रीमियम दे एस्टिमेट द प्रीमियम ये प्राइसिंग का हो गया देन दूसरा रिजर्विंग का जैसे जनरल इंश्योरेंस में रिजर्विंग होता है कि क्लेम्स को फ्यूचर क्लेम्स को एस्टिमेट करना होता है सो दैट वी कैन पे व्हेनेवर क्लेम कम्स वी हैव सफिशिएंट फंड्स टू पे द क्लेम्स वही रिजर्विंग होता है दूसरा होता है कि प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट दे लाइक मार्केट में डिफरेंट लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के प्रोडक्ट्स आते हैं तो उनका डेवलपमेंट होता है like suppose term insurance है term insurance basically क्या है you will pay in short some amount some premium every year like suppose you are 20 you buy term insurance at the age of 20 और आप मतलब 30 years का आपने बोला नहीं so suppose 60 years का आपने बोला है तो आप 25 से 60 years 85 years तक आप अगर if you are alive तो आपको वो बाद में वो सम इंश्योर्ड नहीं मिलेगा इफ यू डाई विद इन दिस 60 years तो आपको वो 1 करोड़ या जो भी सम इंश्योर्ड आपका होता है वो मिल जाएगा तो लाइक देयर आर सो मेनी प्रोडक्ट्स दूसरा एन्युइटीज होते हैं जिसमें आप कुछ एक बार लमसम पे कर देते हो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को एंड देन वो लोग आपको हर साल 5,000 ऐसे करके कुछ भी पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट जो भी आपने चूज किया होता है वो पे करते हैं तो दीज काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स आर देयर इन इंश्योरेंस लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी तो उनका डेवलपमेंट होता है दूसरा वैल्यूएशन होता है लाइक फ्यूचर और एसेट लायबिलिटी मैनेजमेंट होता है बेसिकली एसेट लायबिलिटी की कंपनी के पास स्पेसिफिकली प्रॉपर एसेट्स हैं और उनका सफिशिएंट एसेट्स हैं कि वो फ्यूचर में जो लायबिलिटीज है एक्सपेक्टेड लायबिलिटीज है उनको मीट कर सकें तो these are the some main roles which actually work in insurance life
Just
insurance.
want to Madhu, just want to pitch in one thing. You know what? Why I didn't pursue life insurance? Because it's a very dark, it's a very dark course. If you can really imagine what we are doing is just we are just betting on people's death. Like when are they gonna die and when we have to pay the claim amount? No,
Exactly.
so it's a very dark course. Yeah, jokes aside, continue on.
This was same. जब भी मैंने मतलब लाइफ इंश्योरेंस चूज नहीं किया था सेम रीजन okay
So I think we should get back to Rohan. So Rohan can explain the alternative way that he actually, and it's a very interesting track right now. So yeah.
Okay, so I know it's afternoon and ये बहुत सारी information हो गई है सब पे बिल्कुल अच्छा insurance premium annuities हो रही है ये सब हो रही है but look to like we'll just now bring it down one level and I'll ask you all इस मीटिंग में अभी कितने कितने मैथ्स के स्टूडेंट हो अपना हैंड रेज करें you can raise your hand majority हाँ चलो मुझे वो दिख रहा है majority and I'll be focusing on निशांत एंड सृष्टि क्योंकि उन्हीं की मैं शक्ल देख पा रहा हूँ so I'll just go on with their expressions. So what happens if you have chosen maths as a degree, so actuarial science में you have taken your first step. Keep this in mind क्योंकि actuarial science का backdrop is mathematics. So अगर your mathematical concepts are good, actuarial science में आपने 25% काम कर लिया है. Now you might be wondering ये तो इंश्योरेंस की बात कर रहे हैं, they are talking about annuities, लेकिन हम तो metric spaces पढ़ रहे हैं, real analysis पढ़ रहे हैं, तो इसका यूज कैसे होगा, राइट? अब इसका यूज ऐसे होगा, इट्स लाइक व्हेन यू अप्लाई, आप कोई लेमा पढ़ रहे हो, आप अबेलियन ग्रुप के बारे में पढ़ रहे हो, मैं काफी कुछ भूल भी चुका हूँ, सो डोंट कीप इन माइंड कि मेरा अभी मैथमेटिक्स से मैं 3 साल से उतना स्पेसिफिक मेरे को अप्लाइड मैथमेटिक्स का याद नहीं होगा, बट लेकिन जो भी वी आर रीडिंग अबाउट कुछ कुछ भी पढ़ रहे हैं हम, जैसे एबिलियन ग्रुप्स के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं या मैट्रिक स्पेसेस में पढ़ रहे हैं, वी आर थिंकिंग, वी आर हैविंग एन एनालिटिकल काइंड ऑफ माइंड कि ये मैट्रिक्स बन गई है, इसका हमने डिटर्मिनेंट निकाल लिया है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ कैलकुलेटिव पावर इज यूज्ड इन एक्चुरियल साइंस. एज मधु मेंशन, डेटा के साथ हमें बहुत काम करना होता है. सो इफ यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा, सपोज दिल्ली में हम डेटा निकालेंगे, हम पूरे धौला कुआं का डेटा निकालेंगे एंड वील अटैच कोवेरिएट्स टू दिस. अब कोवेरिएट्स क्या होता है? डोंट वरी अबाउट जो टर्म्स हम कर रहे हैं, उस टर्म्स को भूल जाओ, जस्ट फोकस ऑन द बिग पिक्चर. सो धौला कुआं में हर साल कितने लोगों को मलेरिया होता है, सपोज जैसे मलेरिया होता है. सो वील ऐड दैट नंबर टू आवर मॉडल. नाउ विल सी, अच्छा किस एज ग्रुप में ये मलेरिया होता है, 16 to 25 में हो रहा है या फिर जो भी कम एज में हो रहा है, वील ऐड दैट. सो वी आर फाइन ट्यूनिंग आवर मॉडल कि धौला कुआं के सपोज सत्य निकेतन के पीछे वाले एरिया में होता है. आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग थोड़ा रिलेटेबल बनाने के लिए एरियाज. सो वील जस्ट कीप ऑन एडिंग एंड वी आर फाइन ट्यूनिंग इट, और इस सब डेटा को मिला के वी मेक अ मॉडल. अब ये मॉडल बनने के बाद हमारा जो प्राइसिंग होती है, दैट्स जस्ट बैकड्रॉप. तो ये इन जनरल हर एक्चुरियल फील्ड में, वेदर इट्स पेंशन में हम क्या करेंगे, हम चेक करते हैं जैसे दे मेंशन्ड कि कितने लोग 60 के बाद कितनी एज तक जी रहे हैं. So if the average age of suppose people living in Preet Vihar is 60 के बाद वो 80 तक उनका 80 तक they are living, so the pension, the government of India has to give them pension up to the age of 80. So वो पूरा जो calculation होता है उसके पीछे, it involves a lot of mathematics, not specifically जो अभी आप पढ़ रहे होगे, but mathematical acumen आपका होना चाहिए, because अगर मैथमेटिक्स का आपका एक्यूमेन नहीं है, सो इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड कि आपने फर्स्ट स्टेप तो ले लिया एक्चुअली बनने के लिए. नाउ कमिंग टू माय पॉइंट, आई ऑलवेज, देयर इज अ कोट अबाउट फ्रॉम बिल गेट्स दैट आई विल ऑलवेज हायर अ लेजी पर्सन टू डू अ हार्ड जॉब बिकॉज द लेजी पर्सन विल फाइंड अ इजी वे टू डू इट. अब इसको कोई भी ये मत समझना हाँ मेरा एग्जाम आ रहा है, रोहन ने कहा था मीटिंग में लेजी होना है, चलो लास्ट डे पे पढ़ाई करते हैं. This does not mean that. Definitely इस पे don't quote me कि कहा था lazy and then AKR सर बोलेंगे कि तुम्हारे मार्क्स क्यों नहीं आए, लेकिन कहा था हमें तो lazy रहना है. The thing is you have to work smarter and not harder. So जब मेरे को भी, to be honest, in our year in 2018 we had a seminar on actuarial science, but लेकिन उसमें मुझे इतना clear नहीं हुआ था कि exactly क्या है, because normally someone comes lecture देके चले जाते हैं, हमें पता नहीं होता कि आगे करना क्या है, right? So what I did, and I graduated. I'll give you a backstory also, so you can like kind of relate कि exactly हुआ क्या था. So 2020 में COVID था, so I had no clue कि आगे करना क्या है. And I think most of us have that thing कि maths तो कर लेंगे इसके बाद लेकिन क्या करें. So that is also one of the main objectives कि ये थोड़ा clear हो जाए कि आगे करना क्या है. So I had this thing, तो मैंने I just applied for a job at Accidents as Sampan is already working there. I had no clue मैं कहाँ जा रहा हूँ, but I started working in the catastrophe department as a risk analyst. मतलब मैंने apply किया, job लग गई. So there I got to know about actuarial science की exactly काम क्या हो रहा है. So मतलब मैंने अपनी graduation खत्म कर लिया. I have no clue actuarial science exactly क्या होता है. After graduation, first year में I went there, I got to know अच्छा actuarial science. So actuarial science people are considered the royalty of the insurance industry. मतलब उनको ऐसे मानो कि अगर इंश्योरेंस कंपनी है तो उसमें जो लाल बत्ती की गाड़ी में आएगा, दैट्स द एक्चुअली. उसको ऐसे समझो कि दे आर कंसिडर्ड रॉयल्टी. वी विल टॉक अबाउट पैकेजेस एंड ऑल लेटर, तो उसके लिए भी. बट लाइक सो दिस इज हाउ आई गॉट टू नो अबाउट एक्चुरियल साइंसेस. देन एज मधु मेंशन, संपन मेंशन, एग्जाम्स बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं एंड यू हैव टू क्लियर देम, क्योंकि बिकॉज you have to work in order to achieve that level. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा कि बिल्कुल कम से कम काम में तुम्हें ज्यादा से ज्यादा मिल जाए. Either you have to clear the exams, or then my approach comes, there's an alternate approach to follow the actuarial field. Now what is the alternate approach? मैथमेटिक्स के बाद often we feel कि एक हमारे लिए एक और फील्ड है, वो है फाइनेंस. फाइनेंस में मैथमेटिक्स वाले काम करते हैं. So what I wanted to do in 2020 when we started FIC, So we had this, मतलब मेरा पर्सनल प्लान था कि मुझे फाइनेंस एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट में कुछ करना है, बट आई हैड नो क्लू कि एक्चुअरियल साइंस जो चीज थी जो सिर्फ इंश्योरेंस को हम जानते थे, उसे हम फाइनेंस के साथ कंबाइन कर सकते हैं. सो आई स्टार्टेड रिसर्चिंग कि अच्छा ओके व्हाट ऑल मास्टर्स आर देयर, क्योंकि एग्जाम का मेरा था कि मैं 5 years तक आई कांट डू द एग्जाम्स, पीपल आर डूइंग इट, फुल टाइम एक्चुअली बनता है, एंड दैट्स द पीक लेवल कि उसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. लेकिन आई वांटेड टू डू समथिंग कि मेरे को एक्चुअरियल फील्ड की नॉलेज मिल जाए, एंड आई डू समथिंग इन द फाइनेंस एज वेल. सो आई स्टार्टेड रिसर्चिंग कि मास्टर्स क्या क्या होते हैं, प्रोग्राम्स क्या होते हैं, हाउ आई कैन कंबाइन द फाइनेंस एंड एक्चुअरियल फील्ड. So I came across this masters in Netherlands में यहाँ आया. Now the reason for choosing Netherlands is, one of the reasons is कि this is the hub of the risk management in entire world, I'll say. अब risk management is, आप actuarial science और risk management को मतलब you can use them either way, मतलब it's almost the same meaning. So I moved here. Then what I actually do is मेरा insurance और pension से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. I work in a bank. अब बैंक में क्या होता है, we as bankers give loans to people. Suppose हमने personal loan दिया है किसी को, but the remember this कि जो इसका background principle है, it's the same. So if I gave a loan to a person, then I check, suppose I am in Amsterdam, कि Amsterdam में मैंने इस age वाले group में कितना पैसा कितने लोगों को दिया है. And once I have that number, then I calculate कि अगर ये पैसा मेरे पास वापस नहीं आता, so what is the amount that I have to keep in my bank ताकि मैं bankrupt ना हो. In same case, थोड़ा very recent example लेते हैं. I think you have read about the Adani report happening, अगर कोई news follow करता है. So the thing is, उसमें it's like SBI का exposure कितना है, सब कहते हैं कि SBI ने loan दिया है, but जो उसके पीछे SBI ने loan कुछ सोच के दिया होगा, because SBI में भी there's an actuary sitting there. उसने अब पूरी अपनी कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट निकाली है. He took out the whole balance sheet and he says suppose 1000 करोड़ की अपनी बैलेंस शीट है, and we can give a risky loan for like suppose 50 crores. तो वो जो कैलकुलेशन हो रहा है उसके पीछे, वो एक्चुअली करते हैं इन बैंक. सो आई वर्क इन क्रेडिट मॉडलिंग. तो बैंक जो लोन देता है उसको हम क्रेडिट कहते हैं. तो हम जब क्रेडिट देते हैं, that's considered as a risk for the bank. If this money doesn't come back, then how are we supposed to cater to the default risk and all those risks? Ye sab is the background of it. Now, other than that, I also work in finance का banking वाला field तो आगे किया है. अब actuarial का एक और use होता है stock market में. Now you अब immediately सबको बोलेंगे अरे जुआ है, ये है, वो है. But we are not doing anything. हम stock market में पैसा नहीं लगा रहे हैं. हम क्या करते हैं? Now I have to explain this in a very, because how many of you have heard about stock market या कुछ options के बारे में सुना है? Just raise your hand once. 3. Cool. And how many of you are interested in knowing कि कैसे stock किसी को उसमें pursue करना है stock market में, finance में? I have 3 hands, so I'll go with 3 or 4 hands. Okay. So what happens? स्टॉक मार्केट में एक स्टॉक होता है. सपोज वी टेक एन एग्जांपल रिलायंस. अब रिलायंस का एक स्टॉक है. अब रिलायंस के स्टॉक का प्राइस डिटरमिन कैसे होगा? दैट इज डिसाइडेड बाय एन एक्चुअरी. अब इसके पीछे वी यूज दिस इज अ वेरी टिपिकल मॉडल इन द फाइनेंशियल इंडस्ट्री. इट इज कॉल्ड द ब्लैक स्कोल्स मॉडल. इसको गूगल करना. इसके लिए नोबेल प्राइज मिला था ब्लैक एंड स्कोल्स को इन इकोनॉमिक्स बहुत साल पहले. But this is the basic model which is being used. So like now initially we mentioned that actuarial science में modeling बहुत करते हैं, modeling, statistical modeling, mathematics. So if you are a kind of person who are good in seeing patterns कि ये pattern हो रहा है. अब I'll take a very simple example. Suppose आप हर दिन कॉलेज जाते हो और रोज गार्ड भैया जानते हैं आपकी शक्ल, लेकिन गार्ड भैया बोलते हैं आईडी दिखाओ, आईडी कार्ड दिखाओ. सो दैट्स अ पैटर्न. यू नो कि मैं जाऊंगा तो मेरे को आईडी कार्ड, या मैं जाऊंगी तो मेरे को आईडी कार्ड तो दिखाना ही है. सो यू नो कि आज 8 बजे इस टाइम में जाऊंगा तो आईडी कार्ड दिखाना पड़ेगा. या फिर फेस्ट हो रहा है, तुम्हें यू हैव अ फ्रेंड कि फेस्ट में दोस्त को घुसाना है. यू नो कि 6 बजे से 7 बजे तक वहां पे कोई नहीं होगा. सो दैट्स अ पैटर्न So this is like you have to see this in a अपनी day-to-day life में देखना पड़ेगा, and that's the skills you have to develop. And then finally, when you quantify it, when you attach a number to it, you have entered the actuarial field. Exams and वो तो आते रहेंगे, लेकिन but you need to have that kind of acumen. So coming back to my point, so when I started like in FIC, when we started, I was investing in the stock market karte karte. Then this field which I am working in, so I'm working in derivatives pricing. अब derivatives pricing आसान भाषा में बोलूं, अगर स्टॉक ऊपर जाएगा हम कॉल ऑप्शन लेते हैं, स्टॉक नीचे जाएगा हम पुट ऑप्शन लेते हैं. कॉल मतलब ऊपर, पुट मतलब नीचे. इसको आसान भाषा में is what I want to say. And we have to price this thing कि अगर ये ऊपर जाएगा तो अगर मैं लोगों से पैसे मांगता हूं तो इस ऑप्शन का, इसको ऑप्शन कहते हैं कॉल और पुट, what is the price I'm going to ask the people for it. And so this और इसके पीछे बहुत मॉडलिंग होती है, वो होती है दैट्स फॉर लेटर स्टफ कि वो उस पे फोकस नहीं करना है, बट यू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ वी वर्क इन द फाइनेंशियल फील्ड एंड द स्टॉक मार्केट फील्ड. इसके बाद आई होप, does anyone have questions? Just keep it in the chat or raise your hand. Iske baad, the thing is, for me, as I'm pursuing masters in actuarial science, so I haven't given any papers to clarify. What I can do right now is, if you go to any of the websites which Madhu has mentioned in the chat, usme jaake you'll see exemptions. So if you do your masters or kuch bhi, you have certain exemptions if you do certain degree from a particular college. Suppose jaise I have a course called financial mathematics and stochastic calculus. So if the curriculum of that course aligns with what IAI has there in their CT1 paper or whatever paper they have, so you can email them ki this is the course, I passed this with this grade and I would like for an exemption. So instead of 13 paper, you can give 11 exams, or like depends on what is the curriculum you are following. So it's always better if you don't want to give the exams or you want to just go for masters. So this is how you take into effect ki I can't give this paper, so you just see the requirements in the actuarial website of IAI or of the UK association, and then when you have those curriculum, you match it with the masters you want to pursue. Amity offers a course in actuarial science, but the reason I didn't pursue it, now coming to like one of the major points, is salary. Now I'll link it to Amity. Why salary kitni hai? Now for a fresher, I feel for a fresher, Sampan and Madhu, correct me if I'm wrong, for a fresher, if you have cleared 2 or 3 papers, your salary is 4 to 5 lakhs. Now you might be saying, अरे इतना कम, इतनी मेहनत कर ली, सिर्फ 4-5 लाख रुपए. Now that's where the thing comes. For like actuarial industry mein, you have to have experience in the field to increase your salary along with the papers. Like what Sampan is doing, Sampan ke 4-5 paper cleared hai, right? So he's gaining experience in the field. So rather than just clearing the exams, उसका एक्सपीरियंस भी साथ में बढ़ रहा है. तो वो पीछे भले ही वो एक पेपर 2 साल में निकाले, बट ही हैज एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ 2 years of working in that field. So that is going to impact, like for a fresher, I'm saying 4-5 lakhs salary, and the salary, like as you get closer to become an actuary, it can go up to 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, depends. तुम्हारे पास experience होना चाहिए. If you have zero experience and you have cleared all the exams, then your salary will be 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. I think, if I'm not wrong, sometime 10, 15.
So actually,
Yeah.
we need some experience. Like if you are qualified actually, like before before joining any company or having any work ex. So like if you see, that's a progressive model. If you have cleared 3 to 4 papers and joined a company, you can get a decent package of like 5 to 6 or 7, close to 7 lakhs, right? So another question pops up in the mind, like after clearing 2-3 papers, हमें 5 से 7 लाख रुपए मिल रहे हैं. एक साल और निकाल के हम लोग 7-8 पेपर क्लियर कर लेते हैं, हमें क्या 15 लाख रुपए पैकेज मिल जाएगा. So no, this is not the case. Actually में, actuarial world में, you need to have an experience. Experience matters most than the papers, right? So both have proper weightage over the package, but if you scale them, then I would say experience matters the most. Again, so what is the advantage of doing papers as with the job work experience. So see how the salary increase in actual world is that you have cleared 3 papers. Let's assume I have cleared 3 papers right now. I have a package of 6 lakhs. Every year I am trying to give 2 or 3 papers and I'm clearing all those papers. So every paper has some increment into the salary. Let's say I have cleared in, if I say 1 paper, I get a raise of 1 lakh rupees per annum, right? Apart from 1 lakh rupees per annum, there is an annual increment also going on into my company. So the total effective increment will be greater as compared to the other jobs. But yeah, you have to have some experience before clearing all those papers. And you can't become a qualified actuary because you need to have some work ex also. Like there are 3 years of work ex compulsory for becoming a qualified actuary. So yeah.
I want to add one more point. Um, इसके अलावा companies also pay your exam fees as well.
So there are study supports provided by every company, like the coaching fees, your membership fees, your exam fees, depending on every company to company. They even pay, like my company, what my company does is like, if I fail one exam, no problem. They'll give exam fee for another exam as well. But you can't benefit from this. Like you are saying that I am giving papers and I'm failing again and again. So company won't give it. My company gives it for 3 years, so 3 attempts, not 3 years, sorry, 3 attempts. But yeah, it's a very, I would say, a defined path because we have our jobs as well. We are getting study support from the company. So yeah, in an overall package, it's a very good part to take.
Yeah, so as Sampan and Madhu mentioned, I'd also like to add a point. I think after mathematics, I've seen my friends back in the day that they always focused on सरकारी job निकालनी है, SSC करते हैं, UPSC करते हैं, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ उस टाइप को करते हैं. But like once you are studying so much for UPSC, you are studying like 12 lakh students are giving it for 1200 seats. Why do you like, if someone wants to do it, then it's like definitely good for them. But like if you have a bit of doubt कि यार ये नहीं करते, कुछ और कर लेते, ये बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, because in the end your mental health also matters. अब ये whatever people say कि इसके इतना package हो रहा है, and forget the package. Like hypothetically speaking, in Netherlands, if I am getting 10 times more salary, suppose if I am getting 100K a year, so that doesn't mean कि India में भी मेरी salary same होगी, because whenever you hear salaries from your friends or IIT में किसी का 1.5 करोड़ का package लग गया है, always focus on PPP. It's purchasing power parity. So if I am getting 1 crore here, I'll get 35 lakhs in India. तो वो same नहीं है. तो कभी भी उसको like don't focus on those things. What इस पूरे कहने की बात ये है कि focus on learning and not on package. That's what I want to say first, because what money you are getting is a byproduct of the skill you have. What I mean by this is कि हम बिना स्किल लिए हुए हम चाहते हैं हमारी जॉब में सैलरी बढ़ती जाए, हमारे पास स्किल नहीं है. एंड दैट आई फील दैट्स ट्रू फॉर इंडिया, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन पीपल कि वो कंप्लेन तो करते हैं कि जॉब्स नहीं है. द थिंग इज जॉब्स आर देयर, आपका स्किल सेट उतना अच्छा नहीं है. लाइक इफ यू हैव दोज काइंड ऑफ स्किल सेट विद द कंपनी इज वांटिंग, तो वो तुम्हें जॉब देंगे ही देंगे. And
Definitely.
then, as Sampan mentioned, why the companies are sponsoring this, because actuarial as a field अभी इंडिया में उतना फेमस नहीं हुआ है. Although मैथमेटिक्स में हमें सुनने को आ जाता है, डिपार्टमेंट में एक्चुरियल साइंस है, जैसे टिप्स का होता है, they have classes and all those things. But in general, actuarial science के बारे में लोगों को पता ही नहीं है. Like as Sampan mentioned, actuarial science अगर किसी को पता भी होगा, जैसे बीमा बेच रहे हो क्या तुम, बीमा बेच रहे हो, that's no, and 90% लोगों को actuarial science पता ही नहीं होगा actuarial science है क्या. Then we say maths and stats, क्योंकि maths and stats is the core principle of actuarial science. ठीक है. So as I mentioned, salary पे focus ना करके salary will come as a byproduct, उसकी tension लेने की बात ही नहीं है. And why I align this with the government job and an actuary, because once you become an actuary, even if you change a job, your job security is massive. तुम इंडिया में काम करो, किसी भी स्टेट में काम करो, यू कैन वर्क विद द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, यू कैन वर्क विद द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, यू कैन वर्क विद बैंक्स, इंश्योरेंस, बिग 4, BCG के मतलब बहुत endless opportunities है, तो jobs का वो tension नहीं कि private में job करना पड़ेगा, all this government jobs भी होती हैं actuary की. For instance, if you are going for a job anywhere where risk is involved, when you are seeing job vacancies after your final year, the risk में you can apply for the job if you have the background of an actuary. अब ये नहीं कि वो specifically actuary के लिए ही एक job निकालते हैं. Anywhere where risk is involved, you can apply for those jobs. Now coming to salaries,
just
we have covered.
to
Yeah.
add one point, like Rohan, can you name any billionaire of India? Any billionaire? I would say Ambani. He has his
Ambani.
own insurance
Yeah.
company. Adani own insurance company. Birla own insurance company. So can you think like why everyone is going into the insurance business? And traditionally actuaries are related with the insurance business. So there is no as such thing of job security, I would say. Every billionaire, every millionaire is going to have his own company. Name any one of the billionaire, I would say. Everyone has his own insurance company. So as far as I know, like there is no thing as job security. Also, the total number of people in qualified actuary in India, it's just 450. Can you imagine 450 people? And down the line, I would say 5 or 10 years, you will be one of those people, right? So it's a very big tag and very big achievement for you, I guess. The only thing which students usually do during their actual path is that after clearing 5 or 6 papers, as you go up the road, you will see like the difficulty of papers are increasing, right? It's an obvious thing because as you go up, you have to have more skills to be into the market. You have to gain some more knowledge. You have to be extraordinary than the rest of the people. So the difficulties of the paper are rising. So the dropout rate of the actuaries are very high. In coachings, I saw like 100 people are taking actual exam, but it's been 3 years since I had taken any coaching, and when I just contacted those people back, I get to know someone has done MBA, someone has done masters. They actually dropped out of the actuarial. So the dropout rate is a very high in actuarial, entry level actuarial. So you have to be consistent for becoming an actuary. But I'll assure you, if you become actuary one day, you will get like the most amazing package, I would say, the best role, because actuarial is like a total market oriented course. I work in the mortgage reinsurance industry, right? So I am dealing with the all the current market scenarios, and it's so interesting. Trust me, when you get into the job, there are some repetitive work, but you have to have a different mind skill. I am a mathematics student. Rohan is a mathematics student. We always try to think out of the box rather than other students who usually be into that box and try to do repetitive work. We have this mind. We have to use this. We have to automate the things. We have to have special skills which keeps us separate from the crowd that is going in, right? So yeah. And just one thing, actuaries are the certified Jyotishis, I would say. Anything if you want to predict, actuaries are there. So we are the certified Jyotishis. And Jyotishi ka business kabhi thap nahi hota.
Exactly.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So since this is an alumni talk and I am from BSc Maths Honors, and I'm also pursuing actually, so I want to ask you some questions if you would like allow me to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So as for the question, I'll start with my situation first because I think that then only you'll be able to relate with me. So back when I started with my first year, at the end of the first year, I got to know about actuarial science. But I got to know about it via II, not from any IFO. I didn't knew there was an IFOA or CAS and all. So I gave my paper for ASET back in my third semester, end of my third semester, and I got selected and I cleared my ASET. But after that, I did not have any opportunity to give CS1, the first examination. I was preparing for it, but I was not able to give it because whenever there was an exam, it got parallel with my semester examinations. So, but then since I cleared my ASET and I was preparing also, I applied for some internships. And I am currently doing an internship in which we have to make a report in that is basically employees benefit part, where we have to do LOE and LOS, etc. So, and also I also took part in college placement, and there I got the job at WTW as an actuarial analyst. So my question after telling all of these things is that I haven't given any paper. I have like not appeared for any paper. So when I sat for my behavioral interview, that was the last stage of my interview in that job opportunity. They asked me a question that what made you make so sure that you're pursuing actually. But I had no answer for it. So I want to ask you the same question. What made you so sure? Since I'm from science background and I don't have any knowledge and XYZ knowledge that you're talking, I know terms, but I don't know the practical usage of the commerce part. So I'm not like getting hooked into it, and I just don't know that is it for me or not. I'm preparing although, but I just don't know. And how do like fix this?
Srishti, I can relate to you. I'm also from science background. So, honest answer, package, 8 crore ka package. That was a very big myth back in the history. So, yeah, that
Yeah,
was my
it is
first
now too.
thing. Yeah, that was my honest answer. But um, actuaries, I think that it's something that we can relate to the practical world. Like, I know applied mathematics, real analysis, everything. We don't really see the application of those things now. But if you are doing, let's say you are preparing for CS1, I think that CS1 has probability models in it, right? There are some
Hmm.
XYZ syllabus of it. I don't remember exactly that. I appeared for it a long time before. So the things you studied in that course, you can actually apply those things into your real life. So that the thing which I got the hit from the most, that I get the kick from, like what I'm studying for it, I can just apply it to the real life world. So that's would be my answer if I say why I pursue actuaries. Honest answer, 1 crore package, jo kabhi nahi mila, right? Another answer, that the real world experience, the practical knowledge which we are gaining from the actuaries is we can actually apply to the real world. So yeah, Rohan, can
And
you?
you
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Shrishti.
Yeah, so and you also mentioned this point that many of your friends were pursuing actuarial science and they did not have that consistency and all, and they left the course and all. So I wanted to ask that am I being in that category by like not attempting for the examination? I had my reasons, but still. So I just want to ask that what can I do to focus or to create that consistency that you're talking about?
So first of all, you have to start giving the papers. No, if you haven't start giving the papers, you can't really expect to do the whole actually. First of all, second thing, it's all about your passion. Like I am one of the kind of person, like I want to be in that 500 segment. Like there are only 500 actuaries in India, so I want to be in one of them, right? So that's the passion I'm carrying with, along with the tag, like I will be called as an FIA, fellow of actuarial instead of actuaries. So if you have that passion inside you, that greed that you want to be into that 500 people segment, then I would say it's definitely for you. Just don't be disheartened that you are not giving people. Everyone has some of his own reasons, right? But you should not be discouraged from that. You just have to give one paper to, I would say, back in the game. I think, yeah, that would be the enough approach.
I have a question
And
for you,
all
Shrishti. First, I have a question. Like, if not actuarial science, then what will you be doing? Like, you said you don't have a reason to do actuarial science, then what's your alternative to?
actually, to be honest, why I gave ASET because
Yeah.
I went through its syllabus and there was statistics, mathematics, DI,
Okay.
and reasoning. All those
Okay.
four things were my favorite at that time in 12th standard. I did everything like regarding it. So it was easy for me to clear ASET because I was interested.
Okay.
But since CS1 started and I got to know the commerce part also because there is modeling, there is regression, there is correlation, there is everything. So then I was like, do I have to do this? Is it my thing? Because as I've told you, I have not appeared for any paper, so there is no consistency, and I was not able to give my examination. So I got left in that part. And as for what I would do if I would not do the actuary, I thought of doing MSc in either statistics or either in data science. That is what I had planned long back.
If you go in MSc in data science and statistics, it's all about actuaries. It's all about CS1, CS2, even some part of CT7 or even CT3, 5 and 6. So if you're
Yeah,
planning for MSc in stats and data science, then you will again be diverged into that.
come back to
Bucket.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So the thing is, what I made of all your things is that you are basically because it's getting a bit more difficult. You're like, नहीं यार ये नहीं कर regression आ गया इसमें तो अब नहीं कर रही मैं ये. जब तक it was in my comfort zone, I would have done it. The thing is, I think when you go and see MSc in stats or data analytics, उनका curriculum में भी linear regression आ जाएगा कभी ना कभी.
It's in the first semester.
So it's like, yeah, exactly.
हाँ,
So
हाँ,
like
for sure.
it's like you have to make up your mind कि ये मेरा actuarial science this is and this is my end goal. MSc in data analytics or as you mentioned is this is my starting point, this is my end goal. ये मेरा 3 साल में खत्म होगा and this will be my highest if we are focusing on money because we as humans always focus कि पैसा कितना मिलना है एंड में ये बताओ. If this is मेरा ये तो इसमें मेरे को इतना पैसा मिलना है. But actuary ka, because actually I'll say is the superset of your statistics and data analytics. So agar actuarial aa gaya, then you can apply for data analytics jobs. You can apply for stats jobs. Lekin agar stats and if you want to apply for actuarial wali job, then it's maybe not possible. So that's the thing. I say like just choose, think. इस सेशन के बाद रिसर्च पूरा की एमएससी एनालिटिक्स में व्हाट दे टीच एग्जैक्टली क्या है एंड इफ इट्स मोर और लेस सेम just go with what your heart feels. We are from actuarial science, so we are going to say actually but yeah, it's
एक करो package.
in the end it's your
Right.
choice.
Once यार myth है.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, any other question? Shivani has a question.
Okay, so guys, you can ask your question. If you have any question, you can raise your hand. We'll recognize you and then you can move forward with your question. Okay, Sohani, you have a question.
If can I ask like one more question? Is there any skill set that you can like improve or gain while doing BSc, which would be helpful?
I'll say जो हमारी क्लास होती है आर स्टूडियो की, just don't
हाँ.
focus on clearing the exam कि इतने नंबर आ जाए. आर स्टूडियो को actually detail में पढ़ो because it's one of the most important statistical softwares that's used. like whatever you are studying, like even if you're studying Python or R for Excel पढ़ रहे हो, just focus on कि ये हम क्यों कर रहे हैं and don't just focus on कि इसका बस ये पेपर पास हो गया. Because personally speaking मैंने ये किया था and I'm like paper pass हो गया, लेकिन बाद में when I started my masters, my first assignment was do an entire modeling in Python, and the note under the assignment was previous no knowledge of Python would not be considered an excuse to fail this course. So in short, अपना skill set जो just see कि कोई भी job खोलो actually की, see the skills they are wanting and just उन skills पे keep on working.
You can master any one of the language. Let's say you've mastered R, right? Every language has the same skill set, just a different way of writing the codes. No, if you mastered R, then it would be very easy for you to master Python. Apart from these languages, I would say go for SQL. That is a data management language. That is the most sought after language which companies need. MS Excel, you have to be proficient in MS Excel regarding all the dynamic errors and all. Apart from it, there are some more tools, but I don't want to get into the depth of that because those tools come after you do all these basic tools. No? So you have to be updated with the market. You know that the big data analysis. So the data scientists, actuaries, data analysts all go hand in hand. If you are doing actuaries, you have to have these three basic three languages knowledge, right? R, Python, and SQL. These are the most sought after languages. And you know that these three languages are the big I would say, stepping stone for all the data science, data analytics, and stats part. So you have to be very updated with the market to be the extraordinary one, to get that's a perfect job for you. And that is the most important thing. Even nowadays, IFO and II also introduce R into their exams also. Like if you want to appear for CS1, R R has a different paper. You have to pass
CS,
that exam. CM1.
CS1 and CS2.
Yeah, CM1. You have to be efficient in advanced Excel for clearing CM1 exam or CM2 exam, right? So you have to be updated with the current market scenario. You have to be updated everywhere if you are doing actions. बोलते हैं ना अपने कान आंख पैर सब खोल के बैठना पड़ता है पढ़ते समय काम करते समय. So yeah, you have to be very efficient in those things.
एंड इवन मैथमेटिक्स भी कर रहे हैं ना, तो उसको एक भी कोई भी कमांड होता है, जस्ट डोंट लर्न दैट, उसके पीछे का रीजन लॉजिक जो है वो देखो और वो सोचो, क्योंकि वही प्रोग्रामिंग है. मतलब कोई भी प्रोग्रामिंग में फिर लैंग्वेज में आपको स्विच करना बहुत इजी होगा. बेसिकली लॉजिक इज द मेन थिंग, जो आपको अगर समझ आ गया तो किसी भी मतलब लैंग्वेज में प्रोग्रामिंग बहुत इजीली है कर सकते हैं.
And also, there is one last thing I want to ask,
Yes,
if
yes.
I'm not interrupting.
No, no, no.
Being a student from IAI, मैंने अभी इस बार का रिजल्ट देखा. CM1 के like it was 5% only. I guess CM2 के लिए it was 4%. And yeah, that was the percentage of passing. So
Exactly.
why is it so low? Like it's terrifying from my point of view, not given anything.
So first, stop getting afraid of the pass result. No, you can also, like, we know that II has a little bit of strict curriculum, strict passing marks and all, but you can always opt for IFOA. Like for the starting papers, I would suggest go for IFOA. You can build some confidence into that. That yeah, IFOA has a passing rate of like 30 to 40%. So go for IFOA. Exam fees is a little bit higher, but eventually, if you are working, then exam fee, then it would not be a matter because it will be totally reimbursed by your company, right? So go for IFOA. And you know what? I have seen people, like there's one people in my company who is giving paper from both the societies just to increase her chance of getting cleared of those papers. And you know what? She has been clearing each of every paper from both the societies. If she's giving CM2, she is appearing from IFO as well and IA as well. And the best part is she is getting cleared all those papers in both the societies. So first of all, don't be afraid of the papers. Just start it, and you will find it amazing.
Yeah.
I
Adding
will
a-
add one more point.
Yeah, Madhu, yeah.
अभी लाइक दोनों सोसाइटीज से परस्यू करने का ऐसा कुछ बेनिफिट नहीं है, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गेटिंग एग्जेम्पशंस फ्रॉम ईच सोसाइटी. तो एक ही सोसाइटी यू चूज.
Adding a very small point, अब जब if someone goes and researches more कि actuarial exams है, then you see fees बहुत ज़्यादा है. But just focus on ROI. So it's return on investment. अगर suppose आप पूरे exam में लगा रहे हो, you are spending 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs in 5 years. Just imagine कि if you have the full, if you are in full actually, आपका ROI बहुत जल्दी मिलेगा. जो आपने 5 साल में लगाया, that you can get within 6 months. So उसको just focus on that and don't focus on exam महंगा है यार, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. Don't keep money in the matter. So like, I think we are almost on time also. I think we can take 1 or 2 more questions, but like, I'll just end quickly with some key takeaways. Just, I have like 3 key takeaways from this session. First of all, understand your core competency. Actuarial science नहीं करना है, data analytics करना है, वो करो. No one's forcing you to do actuarial science, but focus on it. Like our main goal was to give you kind of a guidance कि you have to walk this path. Now the path is that now you have to walk the path yourself. So उसके बारे में research करना, वो करना, that's on you. But like I think we might have guided you towards the right path. So the most important thing is to find your core competency, because we don't want 10 साल बाद कोई बोले यार उस सेमिनार में actuarial science कहा था इसलिए ले लिया. So we don't want that kind of thing. So find your core competency जो अंदर से करना है. as math student, actuarial science is what we can recommend. बहुत अच्छी field है. And focus on learning first. पैसा is a byproduct. I'll keep on reiterating it. पैसा बहुत easily आएगा इस field में. But first you have to learn and पूरा अपना skill set develop करना. Now we can have questions. Thank you.
Kuswani, now you can ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. Firstly, I love this seminar, and I have a very different doubt. So when you talk about giving one exam 2 to 3 times, like how do you deal with failing an exam? And I know people who fail by just 1 mark. So how do you deal with that? How do you get motivated that, okay, fine, we'll do this paper again?
So yeah, Madhu, you can
अगर
answer.
एक्चुअली करना है तो पहले से ही माइंडसेट ऐसा बना लेना कि सारे एग्जाम्स एक बार में तो क्लियर नहीं होंगे, फेलियर तो होना ही होना है, ठीक है. एंड इफ यू आर रियली इंटरेस्टेड, मतलब मोटिवेशन अपने आप आएगा कि वो गोल एंड गोल कि मुझे उन 500 में बनना है, एक्चुअली बनना है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली यू विल बी एबल टू डू दैट.
Another thing I want to add to that is, like I told you, the reimbursement part, right? First of all, your company is paying for your expenses. If you fail one exam, don't get disheartened. You have another attempt from your company, or if you have to pay from your pocket, it's fine. Because after giving that exam and passing that exam in the second attempt, you will see that a 1 lakh increment has been coming to you at the end of the year, right? So that's my motivation. I'm a baniya bhai, so that's my motivation. So yeah, don't see. I don't have to tell this, but yeah, I have cleared one paper from CAS that is not cleared. I have appeared for one paper from CAS that is MAS1, and I failed it 2 times. And I know why I'm failing, because I was too much into my job. I was not giving proper attention to the details. But at the end, what I learned, like every time I read that course, I want to get a new perspective. Like, this thing can also be solved like that. I'm getting more knowledge. It's not like you are reading again and again one thing. It's just like you are getting more knowledge, because as time passes, you are gaining experience, and you are getting to know like these, how to use these things into your daily life. So it will give you more perspective. So, and the one increment wala part coming at the end of the year.
Adding one point, like I'll just culminate what Madhu and Sampan said. First of all, we have this saying ki khali dimag shaitan ka ghar. Get a job instantly after your bachelor's, if you can get a job, because that's only when you will get reimbursed for your exams. Because one kind of ये भी होता है 25,000 का पेपर दे दिया, निकला नहीं है, फिर से देने पड़ेंगे. That's also, लेकिन अगर if you have a job, so you have a security. चलो मेरा पेपर नहीं निकला है, but I will give it again. My company is sponsoring me, and all those things are taken care of. Secondly, पेपर जब नहीं निकलता है and you as an actuary, you are focusing on data, लेकिन this data की 5% लोग निकल रहे हैं, इस data को थोड़ा ignore करना पड़ेगा. Because if you see the data of UPSC के लिए लाखों लोग बैठ रहे हैं. I always take the UPSC exam क्योंकि उसमें pass rate बहुत कम है, like 0.01 something. Considering that, और उसके लिए लोग इतना पागलों की तरह मेहनत कर रहे हैं, you are doing something जिसमें भले 5% लोग पास हो रहे हैं, लेकिन the thing is the field is starting right now in India. You have to focus on that. जो early जब tech boom हुआ था, so the people who studied coding in the initial phase, उन्होंने बहुत पैसा कमाया. Like we are keeping money as the top of the pillar. Motivation वो होता है सबका. Like no matter what we say, learning करनी है, of course करनी है, लेकिन पैसा भी end में मिलना चाहिए, because we have to tell our parents कि life settle है. And actually के बाद I can say कि life settle हो जाती है in what definition we have of being settled. So focus on कि अगर टोटली 10,000 लोग बैठ रहे हैं, उसमें से 5% हो रहा है, तो ये देखो कि फील्ड नीश कितनी है. सो इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर कि 10,000 में से 5% पास हो रहा है, विच इज गुड, बिकॉज तुम्हारा धीरे धीरे वो कॉम्पिटिशन 10,000 से हट रहा है, वो लोग हटते जा रहे हैं, वो एक्चुअली में आगे निकलते जा रहे हैं, rather than तुम 12 लाख में compete कर रहे हो. सो ट्रीट दैट एज अ मोटिवेशन फैक्टर कि इवेंचुअली एक बार नहीं, 2 बार नहीं, थर्ड टाइम में निकाल लोगे. सो उसको दिमाग में बना के रखना पड़ेगा.
Also, I had another question. So I'm in my second year right now. So we have our summer break coming, and this is the best time for us to have like a summer internship. So if I want to pursue actuarial science, what kind of internships do you recommend? Because the ones I've seen on LinkedIn, etc., from Aon, their first qualification should be you have to pass one paper, and I think the exams, let's assume IFOA is in April. So tab tak to we won't get the result. So other than actuarial internships, what do you recommend if I want to become an actuary?
See, actuarial internships in India are very difficult to get in before passing your graduation, right? So don't get disheartened from that. Just pursue some coding courses like Python or SQL in during that period and improve your resume, right? Because after getting exposure to those coding languages, it's like a matter of time that you will get a job. Don't focus on the internship, just focus on getting your graduation done, having like a good count of paper before joining a company. I would suggest like 3 to 4 papers are sufficient, and have a good exposure of the coding languages.
Exactly. And if you genuinely like, coding is the best thing you can do, because usme you don't have to like find कि कुछ करने के लिए ढूंढ रहे. Coding, once you are done with coding, you can see like actuary से proxy कौन से professions निकलते हैं. जैसे finance, actuary से finance निकलता है. Insurance में अगर आपकी नहीं लग पा रही है, see something in bank, कि बैंक में मैं credit में कुछ कर सकती हूँ क्या, या similar कुछ ऐसी field पकड़ो कि जिसमें घुसना आसान हो. If you want to do an internship, and then do an internship, because CV में, because as Sampan mentioned, India में papers दिखाते हैं, and even if लिखा हुआ है papers, nothing harm in applying. Just apply once. नहीं होगा देखा जाएगा, because rejection and failure is one thing you have to get used to. अगर वो कर लिया तो 25% काम आसान हो गया, because once you are consistent, तो फिर तुम कुछ ना कुछ करके एग्जाम निकाल ही लो. बिकॉज आई फील मैथमेटिक्स जिसकी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, वो एक्चुअली में उसको थोड़ा मोटिवेशन चाहिए, बस उसने 25% काम किया हुआ है. दैट्स व्हाई उसका टेंशन ना लेते हुए जस्ट फोकस ऑन प्रॉक्सी, कि ये अच्छा मैं बैंक में कर सकती हूँ, अपना कोई फाइंड समवन टू रेफर यू लिंक्डइन पे कुछ भी, एंड अप्लाई, कीप ऑन अप्लाइंग. अप्लाई करो, कितना रिजेक्शन आएगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो निकलेगा. इट्स लाइक हाथ पैर मारना कहते हैं हिंदी में, वो करते रहो, eventually you will get the perfect job.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Those were my doubts.
No worries.
I think we are up to the mark.
Yeah, and I don't think we have any more questions, right, Nishant?
If anyone have any question, they can raise their hand. You can have some more questions if you have.
If not, I think I just want to say,
Nishant,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Nishant, you can conclude.
Okay, sir. Okay, so in last, I would like to invite Mehak for a vote of thanks. Mehak, are you there?
I can't unmute myself. Maybe the host can unmute.
Mehak, you can now unmute yourself.
As all good things comes to an end in life, so is this webinar. On behalf of Quaternions, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to all our guest speakers, Mr. Rohan Roy, Ms. Madhu Sharma, and Mr. Sampan Soman. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. I would also like to thank our principal, Mr. Gantosh Jha, for his enthusiastic support, and Mr. Anil Kumar Rajak for organizing this talk. Our heartfelt thanks to our students for their active participation. With these warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much.
with this, we the seminar is formally
Thank you, Rohan. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rohan, Sampan, and Madhu for delivering such a wonderful and nice lecture. In fact, you have shared your valuable thoughts on the topic actuarial science, and you have elaborated in a very nice way. So hope कि स्टूडेंट्स ने बहुत अच्छे से लर्न किया है एंड उनके करियर एडवांसमेंट के रिगार्डिंग में ये नॉलेज और एड ऑन होगा. तो आप तीनों लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. तो इसके साथ ही सेशन को एंड कर देते हैं.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
And all the best for Tangentia. I just saw next week hai. So good luck for that. Yeah,
Thank you.
good luck for that.
You can attend if you want to. You can fly. You can just come.
I have 4.5 time difference. आज मुझे सुबह उठना पड़ा है. I will definitely one day again. I think.
Okay, so all of you can leave now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And if you have any
Thank
doubts, you can
you.
contact us as well. Cool?
Yep.
Okay, bye.